Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, July 12. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has challenged the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority to be efficient and effective in delivering its services. Mr. Holness says the authority must use technology and other available resources to quickly process and approve the business applications it receives.
As we evolve as a society, as we develop as a country, a part of that development must be the change in our bureaucratic culture. Bureaucracy is not bad, but bureaucracy doesn't mean that the thing must take 10 days if it can take one.
Prime Minister Holness was speaking Wednesday at the official opening of the Special Economic Zone SEZ Authority's office on Waterloo Road. The authority is responsible for regulating special economic zones on the island. It is also tasked with implementing the Global Logistics Hub Initiative. 480,000 direct and indirect jobs are expected to be created from over $28 billion worth of investment across 4,000 hectares of space earmarked for special economic zones across the island. Already, 104 companies have received special economic zone status, allowing them to access fiscal incentives, including tax breaks. Meanwhile, an updated MSME and entrepreneurship policy and implementation plan has been tabled in Parliament. Industry and Commerce Minister Audley Shaw tabled the policy during this Tuesday's sitting. The policy serves as a comprehensive framework for the implementation of strategies to support the growth and development of the MSME sector. It will also address the needs of businesses over the entire investment life cycle.
We continue to recognize the critical and strategic role of the MSME sector in growth and development. We further recognize that this sector needs all the support from government in order to realize its potential.
Minister Shaw says he has directed his team to accelerate all initiatives dealing with the use of unclaimed funds in banks to finance MSMEs. The ministry will also move quickly to expand the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC's network, through the Small Business Development Center model. Water is to be trucked to several communities across the island that are experiencing shortages due to drought conditions. The Ministry of Local Government is providing $30 million to implement the Drought Mitigation project through the municipal corporations in affected parishes. Portfolio Minister Desmond McKenzie made the announcement at yesterday's post-cabinet press briefing. He said this represented the first phase of government's response to the dry spell affecting the parishes of St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, St. Mary, and Portland.
The government is prepared to spend whatever we can to ensure that adequate water is provided, not just for residential use, but also we have to take into consideration parishes like Manchester and St. Elizabeth, which are critical to the economic growth of the country in terms of being the parishes that is responsible for a significant portion of our food supplies.
The Meteorological Service of Jamaica has issued drought alerts for sections of St. Catherine, Clarendon, and St. Elizabeth, and a drought watch for Portland. Minister McKenzie says the forecast for the 3-month period from July to September is for higher than normal temperatures with lower than normal levels of rainfall. He says additional measures will be implemented if the situation worsens. Ground has been broken to start construction on 2 high-dependency units at the Spanish Town Hospital. The hospital is the latest to receive a maternal and neonatal unit as part of the program for the reduction of maternal and child mortality, PROMAC. The European Union is funding PROMAC to the tune of €22 million.
Our partnership with the government of Jamaica, in this case with the ministry, is very much about supporting the strategies and the goals that are explicitly spelled out in your Vision 2030.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the target is to reduce global maternal mortality rate to less than 70 per 100,000 live births and lower infant mortality to 12 per 1,000 live births by the end of the year 2030. In 2015, he says Jamaica's maternal mortality ratio was just under 90 per 100,000 live births, while infant mortality was just over 22 per 1,000 live births.
This investment today in the high dependency units, one for maternal care, the other for the younger ones, is intended to preserve life, to enhance the quality of life, and by extension to move us closer to those targets that we have set ourselves.
The high dependency units should be completed in May 2019. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says the budget is in place for the establishment of an independent major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, MOCA. The minister says focus will now be placed on ensuring that the agency is adequately staffed.
At the moment, I think they are less than half of their establishment, right? We intend for that to be corrected very quickly, but they take time to recruit the quality staff they require. And from what I've seen in my short stint there, they have some real, as I said, young, bright professionals.
Minister Chang was speaking on Tuesday in Parliament, where members approved the Senate's amendments to the MOCA Act. It paves the way for MOCA, now an arm of the JCF, to become an autonomous body. The organization is to be transformed into an elite law enforcement investigative agency with a dedicated and specialized team of investigators. And finally, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport is expecting to sign off on the architectural and exhibit designs for Jamaica's first National Sports Museum this year. Portfolio Minister Olivier Grange says the ministry has also intensified the process of procuring and soliciting memorabilia for the museum and will be launching a collection drive later this year.
We have completed a strategic business plan assisted by the Canadian Sport Museum and Hall of Fame. In the meantime, we have developed content for the museum, including audiovisual features on some of our standing sports personalities, including George, Leslie Bonnie Grant, Lindy Della Pena, and Stephanie Taylor.
Minister Grange was making her contribution to the sectoral debate in Parliament recently. She revealed that a textile conservation and preservation training workshop had been conducted to ensure that the skill set was in place to handle the requirements of the museum. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.